Welcome everybody, it's Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Worldcoin. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Now this has been a community request on our Discord, so there isn't a lot of data here that we can work with. So we need to just bear in mind that, because of the fact we don't have a lot of price history here, it limits quite dramatically the effect of any kind of Elliott-wave analysis here. But we're going to give it a go nonetheless and see what we can come up with. So there's two ways that I'm currently looking at this structure. And the one is that we could be potentially looking at this move, looking to develop into something like a triangle in this area here. And what we could be potentially saying is that if we want to count this as A, B, and C into this high, technically we could have a B wave in place here. Now the problem is internally within this structure, it is a little bit difficult to count a 5-wave move unless we count this in this way, where this is effectively 1, 2, this becomes our third wave here, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get fourth and a fifth. Now, it's not my favorite interpretation of this count. So this is reducing the likelihood that this is a B wave, but nonetheless, sometimes we can see more complex waves develop in the B wave. So provided that the rest of them are simple, this would still align with the idea. So within this count, what we could potentially see here is that we could actually have a triangle. Now, if this is a triangle, we also need to be careful that this isn't the other way around, where this is actually our A wave. We get B, C, D, and E, and then we actually look to break down one more time. So we always need to be careful of that with triangles. Now, if we are looking at this in this case, effectively what we'd be saying is that after this triangle completes, we could be looking for upside potential. Now, if we are looking at this in this way, we need to be aware there is also a count where we could count this as A, B, and then we could potentially still be looking for this C wave. Now the C wave alternate count area would be between this 206 and this 196 area. So if we do see just a 5-wave move up here, and then we actually look to break down one more time in another 5-wave structure, that could align with this idea of this becoming ABC to the downside here, which would mean that we could still potentially look at this as a triangle as long as we stay above this A wave high and below this B wave location. Technically speaking, we could see something like this looking to play out. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. These two are going to be our key areas of invalidation for this as a triangle. If we did see this C wave come down here in this way, what we could then get is another 3-wave move down, and then look for this idea of a break to the upside. Alternatively, if the triangle was the other way around and this was A, we're looking for B, C, D, E, what we could see is then a break to the downside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. It's going to be important once we start to develop this. If we get confirmation of a D wave, effectively then we need to see how we react from that point. If, however, we just get 5 waves up here and we break to the downside, we need to also just be careful that this isn't just a corrective structure as a W, X, and a Y, which would fit this wave over here a bit better in my opinion, but effectively we could still be looking for one more bit of downside into this area. The other way we can argue is that this move down is a corrective structure and is completed. Now, we could also argue that this is A, B, and C, so we need to be aware that there are those two potentials. Now, if we are looking at this as a potential low here, what I'm looking for is the possibility that within the structure, we could be looking to form something along these lines. This would be the alternate count to that idea of the triangle, where what we're saying is this could potentially be W, this could be an X wave here, and what we're looking for is an A, B, and a C. So if we do see price come back down into this 214 to this 196, and we see this develop as A, B, and C, what we could see is a move back down here into this golden pocket area. The 1-to-1 would actually be higher up here towards this $2.12. If we do move up into our golden pocket area here, if we do actually break down from where we currently are, which would not be my primary expectation, I would expect one more push up to be fair, but that would bring us towards this $2.10. Now, if we are looking at this in this way, effectively what we would be saying is that we're looking for this Y wave. Now, this Y wave 1-to-1 target is actually lower down here at this 19833. So if we do see this look to break to the downside, we need to keep an eye on this wave C to see whether we get any extension. Now, what I would not want to see is this wave 3 actually pass this $1.99. If we do cross this level, it becomes more likely that what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if we do cross this level, we'll have to watch how we react. 3 waves up could actually align with an additional drop here, where we see price push down one more time. Now the idea within this count is that as long as we hold this low here of this $1.84 and we do hold this 0.786 here of this $1.96, what we could then see is price look to actually push to the upside one more time in this C wave after completing a move to the downside. Now looking at this move over here, what I'm looking for within the internals is that potentially we are forming a B wave. Now our typical rejection area here would be this $2.43 to this $2.35 in this case. And the way I'm looking at this is that potentially what we have here is a flat correction. Now what we typically look for with these is the fact that we've taken this A wave origin would mean that what we look for is this higher box area here, this $2.45 to this $2.39. Now within this, if we do see price push to the upside here and we form this 5-wave move, effectively what we'd want to see is a push up one more time, looking to break this A wave high. Now at the moment we just have 3 waves up, so this could look to invalidate. If we do look to push to the downside one more time, this would invalidate the idea of this being a flat correction. But as long as we actually hold above this wave 1 area, potentially we can look for that continuation to the upside. So the way that I'd be looking at this is the yellow count here, saying that effectively what we have here is 1, 2, 3. We're looking for a 4th and a 5th wave, that though at the moment we just have 3 waves, so we need to be aware of that. If we do break down here and we hit this invalidation point for this 5th wave, which would be this $2.28, potentially we could still look to extend up in a 5-wave move, but it would have to be then that this is 1, 2, 1, 2. And then our invalidation point would be this low. If we break down below that low, effectively then that's confirmation that this move was just 3 waves to the upside, and is more likely then we're going to actually come down and invalidate this idea. Now if we are looking at this potential here and we're saying that what we're going to get is a 5-wave move to the upside, what I want to see is if we do actually hold this 4th wave area here and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this, effectively what we could then form is another 1, 2, as long as we hold this $2.23, and then we'd be looking for potential from that point that if this is going to extend, we'd be looking for a 5-wave move up in this way, where we look to potentially push up towards this 262 to this 257, though invalidation of this comes by crossing this $2.19. But like I said, if we get this 5-wave move up here, we need to be very careful, because we could still be within this idea of this just being a flat correction. There is always potential here. We could get something like a diagonal up into this area, where we get this is 3 waves, we get 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and we push up in this way, and then form a diagonal for this C wave, and then look to push to the downside. So the key thing is within this structure, if we do get 5 waves up, we're going to have to watch how we react. 3 waves up and we hold this low, potentially we can look to continue. If we fail to hold that low, then potential continuation to the downside is more likely, in this idea of this being a bigger A, a B, and then we're looking for a C wave to the downside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this level, see how we develop. If we do get that 4th and 5th, then potentially we need to be on the lookout for that possibility of continuation to the upside. If we just get this as 3 waves, as long as we hold this low, we can still potentially look to form a diagonal. Alternatively, if we break down here, then what I would be looking for as a target would be this $2.13, potentially coming back into this target area here of our 50%. If we push down deeper, there is also quite a good bit of confidence between this golden pocket and looking to retest these lows here, so we'll be keeping an eye on that idea here. Now within our more bearish scenario, what we need to be on the lookout for is the fact that even if we do form this as A, B, and C, this could all just be forming a bigger X wave here. So if we fail to break back above this $2.91 level, what we need to be very careful of here is that this move could actually still look to have a much bigger drop to the downside. Now this would apply for the same idea that if we have this as A, B, C, D, and E, and then we look to push down, that would still align with this idea of this all being an X wave here, and then we look to break to the downside. Or alternatively, even if we do get this as A, we get this as a bigger B wave here, and then we get a C wave to the upside. We need to be careful of this area, because if we're going to reject, it's going to be off of this zone. The only way that we can see this currently looking as possibility of continuation to the upside, in my opinion, is I'd want to see this second leg develop here, and then I'd be looking for this to become potentially 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for this $3.48 to have the additional confirmation that this move is trending to the upside, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside. So that's what we'd ideally want to see at a later point if we are looking for this to trend. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.